Hello and welcome to Developers Live. Today we're going to cover reducing risk by proactively identifying security and stability issues. I'm Megan Harron. I'll be kicking us off today, but Barnet Hellman and Smita Verma will also be presenting. At Adobe, we're making it easier for you to get insights into the performance, stability, and security of your Magento site through new tools and reporting capabilities. Magento is one of the most customizable and powerful e-commerce solutions in the market, and that customization and power come with great responsibility. Luckily, we have the tools to help you manage and monitor your site health and security to ensure your site is ready for business. Today, we're going to walk you through some of these. Our approach is to go beyond monitoring and reactive alerts. We're helping our customers proactively identify and resolve potential errors before they can impact visitor experience. In addition to identifying issues, these tools can help with root cause analysis and provide recommendations and best practices to resolve them through our extensive knowledge base. How do we do it? To start with, we have Magento managed alerts to monitor real-time your site performance and health and alert merchants and partners before incidents happen. The site-wide analysis tool provides in-depth scanning of your Magento infrastructure and provides an overall health score along with recommendations for performance, stability, and configurations. The security scan tool scans your storefront to alert you of malware, of skimming attacks based on large database threat signatures. So let's start with Magento managed alerts. So the problem we found is that a merchant would have an outage or a performance issue. A merchant or a partner would submit a support ticket. The merchant, partner, and support would scramble to figure out what went wrong. Then the site is down or slow for a while. New Relic alert or New Relic helps us pinpoint the issues and solution. But once the issue is resolved, no one is happy. And this left us with the lingering question, why didn't we prevent this from happening? So we set up Magento managed alerts. In New Relic, you can set up notifications in a variety of channels, get those notifications, and get solution-specific steps. The benefit here is users with the ability to make a change are notified instead of the person just paying the bill. Users are given specific steps to resolve the issue, and then issues are identified and resolved without a support ticket. So our managed alert policies are managed and maintained by Magento based on multiple years of data to determine the best thresholds of when to notify you. Once you sign up for alerts, you'll get updates and additional alerts. So right now we have 4 alerts, but as we add more, you'll have access to those without having to make any additional action. Setup is quick and easy. You set up a notification channel in New Relic, and this is where it's key that the person who has the ability to make changes to CPU usage or AppDex scores is the one that gets these notifications. You'll add the Magento managed alerts to your notification channel, and then you'll start receiving alerts. We have warning and critical levels for alerts. So warning is to let you know before something's becoming a problem, and critical means it'll probably already is or is about to be a problem. So far we have them for AppDex, which is page load time, CPU usage, memory usage, and disk space. The benefit too is that we have detailed resolution articles for each alert. So when you get these alerts, we give you specific steps of what you need to stop doing and start doing immediately. And we give you a variety of things to try to resolve the issues. So what we want you to do, we want you to sign up for a notification channel with Magento managed alerts. This is very simple to do, and we have instructions in dev docs, and then our knowledge base has all of our articles. So reading ahead is always good to continue to prevent issues from happening. Thanks, and we'll go over to Barnet.
So what is the site-wide analysis tool? Basically, it's a Magento site analysis and instrumentation tool. We'll be delivering it out here with the release of version 2.4.1. It's basically giving you, the customers, and the partners that will have access to it, Support and knowledge that we already have internally, and we'll be exposing all that support and knowledge to you so that you can get your site more performant. Basically, the site-wide analysis tool is Magento's continued initiative to help drive customer success, make our customers successful in their own rights with their own visitors. Part of the analysis tool is we are operating 24/7, identifying potential issues and recommendations on how to fix them, and you will have direct access 24/7 as well. And lastly, we are putting together, this is what the site-wide analysis tool is a master dashboard, basically a single pane of glass where all issues and all links will be held so that you, the customer, and or partners can get on there and actually see what's going on with the sites. So bottom line, what is it? Single pane of glass, has analysis, has instrumentation. The instrumentation is in the form of issues that we found and recommendations to fix them. So people have asked, what can this tool do? Well, we monitor 24/7. We recommend Magento's best practices so that your site can be performant. And with those best practices are the performance recommendations based on issues or findings that we find. We also put down performance limitations where certain parts of your application have exceeded the actual performance points or the performance thresholds of the Magento application. We also find known bugs, known issues, and if need be, patches and or workarounds until they're released again in a permanent fix. And we've also provided automation workflow for the support teams. So if they are working with you, they will be able to interact between the site-wide analysis tool and the support desk ticket system, and also L2 engineering, for example, going through your database as needed. So how does it work? This is a pretty simplistic diagram here, but we have developed our own database sitting out in our cloud. None of this is analyzed on a customer site at all. We periodically pull data sets, very minimal. We pull it into our database, run through our analysis and our scripting, and is presented basically on a dashboard. The dashboard currently is internal. With the release coming in October here, everybody will be able to see basically what we're seeing internally. It's been, this product has been over 20 months in development. You'll see here that currently it's a production site. We're accessing information from New Relic and Fastly, as well as Zendesk, the support desk system, as well as a multitude of other systems to feed into this product here itself. Real-time updates. Right now, we pull data every 3 hours, and it's a point in time. Over the next 2 to 3 months, we'll be building an historical database, so they'll be able to compare deployments against deployments to see, is the site getting better or worse, and what the recommendations are to make it better. And then finally, this tool here is end-to-end diagnostics. Not only do we do the application stack, but we're also getting into the infrastructure stack as well, recommending or telling you how to reconfigure things based on what we're seeing against the Magento's best practice. So how does this whole thing work? All right. We have connected into the Magento admin panel on your customer site. You will get into the report section. You'll see a little button down here at the bottom, and it actually says Site-Wide Analysis Tool. If you have a role, there's a new role that is in 2.4.1 of SWAT. As a SWAT owner, you will be able to get into the SWAT environment. If you do not have that role, you will not see this option to be able to go. So what does the interface look like? All right, so this is the interface. This is the main dashboard here. We have notifications that are coming from our internal development staff, as well as we'll be linking into the support desk ticket system. So you'll be able to see new tickets, comments on current tickets, and when tickets closed. You'll be able to see recommendations by the priority from P0 to P4. And just by clicking on one of those bars, it'll take you to the recommendations page. So you can see what issues have been found and how to fix them with complete documentation. The bottom section here on this main dashboard page is a graphical interface of how well your site's doing based on the SWOT analysis, and the vertical lines will be deployment markers. This deployment marker section here will be available come January. We're finishing building it out and testing it. The red vertical lines, you'll actually be able to click on those and actually see issues on failed deployments and recommendations on how to fix them. So this is basically the main interface page. You'll see other tabs here. We provide information, recommendations, which is basically the findings. What did we find? The issue, the impact, the root cause, as well as a recommendation and documentation, whether it's developer doc, knowledge base docs, user guides, and or blogs. We show you exception messages. We analyze the log files and present the log information. Some of this will be able to make recommendations, some we won't based on your custom code. We also have extensions. We not only do the third-party extensions, but also the third-party libraries. We tell you whether they're most current. We tell you whether it's been installed versus installed and enabled. And then we have a new section we're actually building out right now. It's called outage. If your site does, on the off chance, experience an outage, we are picking up the data set of what caused the outage so we can get engineering to take a look at it and advise not only the L1 and L2 engineering how to fix it, but also does it need to go back to core engineering, or does the customer themselves have to fix something because it violated a Magento's best practice? There'll be a few other tabs over the next few months. Highlights is a security scan tab, as well as alert performance tabs. If your site exceeds performance limits based on Magento recommendations, there'll be new tabs. And as we develop over the next year, you'll see more tabs appear on this. For those of you that have seen this before, this is just a small example of what section of what the report actually looks like. If you want to produce a PDF of the actual dashboard itself, with a little overview, the descriptions, the expected results, the root causes, and of course, recommendations in the documentation. And with that, Smita, I'll turn this over to you.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Smita Verma. I'm a senior product manager responsible for Magento Commerce security. And I'm so excited for you guys to be joining this session. I'm going to be talking about enhanced Magento scan tool. So yeah, let's go right into it. Actually, before I get started and talk about the piece of our story with respect to risk reduction and how Adobe can actually proactively help you to identify security threats on your web store, let's take a look a step back and actually try to understand why this is important. And in order to do that, actually, we'll have to look at the threat landscape for e-commerce. I'm sure all of you understand that maintaining a solid security posture is very essential for your web stores. We need to understand that e-commerce is one of the most targeted industries right now, and one of the biggest aim for attackers who are attacking this e-commerce vendors. They basically want to scrape as many credit cards as possible from these web stores. And unfortunately, when they try to sell these credit cards on dark web, the resale value of these credit cards obtained online is more than a credit card which is stolen from a physical store like a gas station. So this is something to take into consideration. If we just look at the last 2 years, the attack that has happened over the with some of the very high profile e-commerce vendors, British Airways, Ticketmaster, Macy's, Marriott, all of these have one common theme and theme across these data breaches. These are all large e-commerce vendors. With large e-commerce vendors, you have a larger threat surface, and there are possibility of executing different types, as well as various large quantity of attacks. Something to also notice across a trend across these different breaches is that most of the time these data breaches across various vendors doesn't happen once, but it happens multiple times. In fact, 24% of the time, these e-commerce vendors, they get affected by a malware injection multiple times. And something which is not surprising, but one of the common themes across these data breaches is that these vendors are actually running an outdated version of their products. So that's the reason that sometimes these exploits are possible. Something to also take into consideration is 1 out of 4 vendors are actually not able to identify the root cause of these attacks. That means malware on their website is actually going unnoticed for, if you look at stats, for about 13 days. And if you look at the threat surface altogether, just recently Sengyun Security actually scanned multiple stores across different platforms, and they found out that 8,170 web stores actually had malware on them. So, all of this aside, and now I'm going to talk about how actually Adobe can help you with this. So, as a Magento security team, we have been working very hard to ensure that security threats never first appear on a merchant's web store. And we are continuously improving our threat detection tool. One such tool is Magento Scan tool. So it's a free tool which is available for both partners and developers to monitor their sites for security risk. Now, what we have actually enhanced the Magento Scan tool by partnering with Sengyun Security, which is a leading security company specializing in threat prevention and digital skimming. And we have incorporated all their threat signatures, so the existing threat signature as well as the new threat signature into our Magento Scan tool. So with that, actually, with this partnership, we have added about 9,000 new malware signatures, and we are going to add about 300 new threat signatures on a monthly basis. All these new signatures, they go through multi-stage validation process. Through crawler networks, manual validation, they are going through multiple validation in order to make sure that they do not create false positives. And we'll be very shortly seeing a demo of this Magento Scan tool to show how easy it is to actually sign up and receive notification for your web stores. Before we see the demonstration, I actually also want to touch on some of the success stories that we have seen with Magento Scan tool. So I'm here going to talk about a fashion and an office supply retailers. They are actually the 2 out of the many cases where Magento Scan tool was able to proactively alert customers about malware injection on their site. So let's talk about the office supplier retailer. So in this case, actually a partner who was working with this office supply retailer was not notified of the malware on their customer's store, and they were notified through Magento Scan tool. So they actually, upon the notification, they cleaned up that site from malware, and then they did some basic hygiene actions such as password resets, and they were continuously monitoring their site. Now, earlier I mentioned that most of the e-commerce stores, when they suffer a data breach, it just doesn't happen once, but it happened multiple times. So within a short span of time, they saw that their stores were reinfected. And again, Magento Scan tool was able to identify that malware and notify the partner in time to actually, avoid a data breach from actually happening. So with that, actually, I'll just want to jump into seeing how Magento Scan tool can help our customers and show a very short demo of how easily you can register and start receiving notification for your web store. So let me quickly open a web browser here. So here I have the site that I want to scan. So this is the URL of the site that I would like to scan using Magento Scan tool. To access Magento Scan tool, you have to actually log into accounts.magento.com. As soon as you log in, there is a tab on the left-hand side for security scan. When you click on the security scan, basically you reach to this page. Here you will go to security scan. I already have a testing site added here, but in this case, I want to add a new site. If I have multiple sites, I want to scan them through Scan tool. That is possible as well. So I will add a new site here. The first step here is verifying your site ownership. So here you will enter the site URL. So I want to scan this particular website. So I will go ahead and add the site URL here. The next thing is about adding a site name. I'm just going to choose my Magento store as the site name. Now, these instructions which I'm running through is also available over here on the right-hand side. So in case if you're not following this exactly, you can go to the Construct Magento and go through these instructions as well. Next, I have the confirmation code. So this confirmation code actually needs to be pasted on your web store, front end of your web store. So I'm going to actually copy this code, and I have my Magento admin panel here. So I will go to content and then configuration. Over here, I'm going to edit my default store view, and I'm going to add that code into the footer. So I'm just going to add that code here, and I will save this configuration. I'm just going to flush my cache here. And it's refreshed. So I'll come back here. Now the next thing is setting a frequency for this automatic security scan. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my website is actually scanned weekly. I will choose it to be scanned on Sunday at 8 a.m. Central Time. And the next piece is actually putting in a list of email where you want to get notified once the scan is completed. So you can add multiple emails here. So I'm going to also add email that I have created for this. And as you can see, I got a notification that site was successfully added. Now, when I go back to my email and refresh this, I should actually get an email saying that I have a new enrollment, successful enrollment for this new site. Let me go back to my accounts.magento.com. Now over here, you can see this is the new site that I added. The risk level is of course unknown because we haven't ever run a scan on this particular site. I can actually go to actions drop down here and run an on-demand scan. So I can just click on run scan, and you will see the scan status would now change to in progress. So once actually the scan is completed, you will receive an email notification that a scan is completed. Now this would take some time. So I already have an email, which I can show you of how it will look like once you receive the email. So you would get an email like this if you have a critical issue saying a malware or a critical issue was detected. This is your site for which it was detected. And in order to review the report, you have to log back to the accounts.magento.com. So I go back here. Let's go ahead and review a completed report. So I'll click on view report. And here I have actually a list of failed scans. I have the scan name, the scan details, and a high level corrective action that I can take in order to mitigate this issue. Just right below this, I also have successful scans. So this gives me a list of scans which was actually successfully executed against my web store. If you like to download this report, you can just click on the download PDF. And in case if you want to look at the older reports, you can just go here, view past reports, and look at any old report that for the scan that you have run in the past. So this is the demo. Let me go back to the presentation. So I know you saw this, how easy it is to sign up to a Magento scan tool and and scan your web stores with it. Now, I really request that all our participants here to actually sign up their sites to use Magento scan tool. It is a free tool. It is available both for our on-prem and our cloud customers and open source customers as well. You can very easily sign up and scan your stores for any malware, security issues, and threats. With that, I'm going to actually pass it over to Megan.
All right. So with Magento Managed Alerts, some of the problems we noticed. So a merchant had an outage or a performance issue. They submit a support ticket. The merchant, partner, and support all scramble together to figure out what happened. And then the site is down or slow for a while. New Relic helps us figure out what the issue is and what the solution is. The issue's finally resolved, but no one's happy. Downtime never makes anyone happy, and any amount of time that it takes to resolve it is never, is never short enough. So the big question is, why didn't we prevent any of this from happening? Well, now we're offering managed alerts to solve for that. So the way that it works is you set up for a notification in New Relic. So this is something that anyone can sign up for. And most importantly, the key here is that the person who can make a change to a site should be the one that signs up for an alert, not necessarily the person that holds the account with Magento. When that happens, you'll automatically get a notification. This is an example of an emailed notification. And then you'll get a link to a support article with specific solution steps just for your issue. So with this, users with the ability to make the change are notified and then given specific steps to resolve the issue. And our hope is that issues are identified and resolved without a support ticket. We obviously always want you to reach out to us or reach out to support if you do have a problem, but our goal is to prevent any tickets from ever getting formed. So setting up is super quick and simple as well. Each alert is managed and maintained by Magento. And I just heard I'm having some audio issues. All right, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully, great. Thank you. Okay, so our alert policies are managed by Magento. So what that means is we're constantly monitoring these alerts and policies to make sure that they're meaningful. We don't want to alert you guys when something really isn't an issue and over alert you. So we're constantly monitoring them. If we find that we need to make changes, we'll make those changes and you'll automatically get them. We're also looking to add more alerts. The more data we get access to, the more support tickets where we find a common thread, we're going to add alerts for those. So setting up is very simple. It's all in New Relic. You can create a notification channel if you haven't already. And then once you set up that channel, you can assign it to the Magento Managed Alerts. And then you'll start receiving alerts. And so right now we have AppDex, which is a measure of your page load times, CPU usage, memory usage, and disk space. And for all of those, we have warning and critical levels. The warning level should let you know, hopefully with enough time in advance to make a change. And then a critical level is usually an indication something bad is about to happen. So we hope you don't ever get either of those, but we're hoping that with this, you can have the information you need to make the change before it's a problem. And then each of these has detailed resolution steps for each alert. And so what we really want you guys to do is sign up for these alerts. So you can do it in New Relic. We have DevDocs articles with instructions to sign up for the alerts. And then our support knowledge base already has all the resolution articles in it. So you're more than welcome to look at those ahead of time and be familiar with them. And with that, I believe our session is complete. Thank you all.